Coming up in this episode, we take a trip right up to the top end chasing the great Australian sport fish, the iconic barramundi.
Welcome to my fishing place, the place to be. Now for me, one of the highlights of the trip this time was a little place called Rockies Creek. Was it even 5 minutes from the mothership?
Hardly.
And that place was absolutely brimming with life.
When you head up a creek and there's that much bait that you feel like you're actually riding the boat on the bait, I've never seen so much bait coming off the floodplains. The first time we went up that creek, the barra and the salmon that were hitting that bait, boom, slap, boom.
Big slurps, it's just driving up and there's just disturbance everywhere, boofs happening both sides.
We went into the creek, we started counting. We got to like 20 or 30 or something ridiculous and then just gave up.
Well, when you talk about fishing, when you talk about a fishy creek, this was like literally, pardon the pun, shooting fish in a barrel, wasn't it? We thought, you know, why don't we just toss over a bare hook because we'll catch something.
There was birds, there was crocs, there was bait, there was anything you could think of that would indicate fishiness. This creek had it.
And it was like a sea of mullet with just explosions in the middle of it. It was thick.
You remember that, you know, trying to catch him, and then we're casting, and first few casts we didn't catch a lot.
No, I reckon we would have trolled or cast for over an hour at least. Trolling up that creek,
Yeah.
and casting, probably close to an hour and nothing.
But one of the magic keys was we switched to a different lure. And that can make all the difference on the day. You change to a different lure and it just turns the trip around, and it was one of these little bad boys here, the Salmon Slayer. This one, there's marks all over it. Talk about this one a little bit later. But once we put these Salmos on, how many salmon did we boat? You boated more in a day in one afternoon than they'd had boated on a trip.
It was almost depressing because I was on Daz's boat and I was trolling, you know, my hardest, putting every ounce of life into it, every second. Daz, you know, bang, bang.
Every time our boat drove past, you'd see Daz's on. I'm like, what is he doing? He had the magic lure on.
And what it comes down to is matching the hatch, is what they call it in the trout fishing.
You got to match the hatch to catch the batch.
That's it. And at the end of the day, you know, we thought we were there desperately trying to catch a barra with the big barra lures, and it wasn't until we said, well, let's go down in size, and I think the size had a lot to do with it. Popped it down to this size, and all of a sudden the salmon loved him.
God, I think he's bigger again. They're growing. That's massive. That's the lure, mate. That is the lure. What a killer.
And it is unusual because there was so many boof that you knew there were barra there were big barra there. I trolled for the full first day with big barra lures thinking, come on, it's got to be, we didn't get one barra hit.
But there's that much food. It's like walking into the food court at the plaza. You're not going to take a drumstick hanging from the roof, eh? So maybe the barra, there's just that much food. Saying that though, the size of the salmon will go.
Oh, they were big salmon. I think the biggest they'd caught in that creek before was what, 12 or 13 pound, did they say? Something like that?
I thought it was like late 70s, early 80s, something like that.
What did we get?
Massive.
One of the salmon I caught was, I think, 1.10 and about 15 odd pound or something.
That's a big salmon. Oh, that's growing. Bigger and bigger and bigger. Yeah, go on, baby. That is a ripper salmon, the Salmon Slayer. Big salmon. Oh, smells that big. That is massive.
I'm pretty sure I caught a metre-y salmon. Back me up. There'll be a picture of that, I guarantee.
Yeah, well, it might have been close. It was, you did catch a good good salmon.
Actually.
Oh, thanks. Don't sound so condescending. I'm telling you.
That is a big salmon.
That is a big salmon.
But they did build.
They did.
I think the first couple were a bit small. I know my first one was a bit small. And then every time there was sort of like more shouts, a little bit more excitement, and they just got bigger and bigger until the last day. There was definitely a peak in that middle day, and then the catch rate seemed to drop off.
That many fish feeding on that much bait, it started to thin out a little bit.
Yeah.
Still a ridiculous amount of bait, and still a lot of salmon caught, but definitely started to move down in size a little bit.
But again, great fish to catch. You know, I know we were hunting barra, but still, the salmon still put up a fight.
Well, that day we went for salmon because we knew they were there. They said, look, we're confident in the bait. We went up there hoping for threadies and the guys just pulled it off. It was unbelievable fishing. Some of the best I've had up north, I think.
Well, eating wise, I'd pick a salmon over a barra any day, by far. Salmon, beautiful. One of the best eating fish there
And trolling, all trolling.
And now, why is that, Dazzy? You're telling us the reason why trolling works.
Well, the guys will tell you that mostly it's about not the fact that you troll versus casting, but the guides can actually determine where to put the lure. Not relying on customers, they're saying, put the lure there and the lure goes over there. Put the lure there, the lure goes over there. So they say you troll, they can put the lure where the fish are.
So for you two, that's very important that someone shows you where to cast. Or for me, you know, probably casting would have been an okay option, but I understand it.
Did you catch any on the cast?
I actually thought there were some great tips from Lee about salmon fishing.
Oh yeah,
Brilliant, brilliant.
Just you can see this next bit about how good my fishing tips are.
It's a little thing called technique when catching a fish. Just watch me, you'll learn how. Just lost it. Me and my big mouth.
And you caught not only salmon, you caught the biggest fish possibly in the creek system on the day.
We did, but we'll leave that for another time.
Here we go, here we go. We've got him home here.
What the hell is that?